Head coach for the Junior Altas is Job Cleopas. And now the starters for R1 Sports. At center number 10, Aaron Manabat. Point guard number 20, Intano. Shooting guard number 13, Dirk Carpena. Small forward number 77, JB Evangelio. And power forward number 24, Aaron Ignacio. Head coach for the R1 Sports is Ron Ferrer, assisted by RJ Velasco. Our first game 3, crew chief Jabri Abre. Umpire 1, Seraf Ongad. Umpire 2, Elvin Calzada. Supervised by our Commissioner Joel Ngo.
We welcome you once again to the National Developmental Sports League Basketball Series, and this time it'll be in the 19 and under division. Our third match of the day, it'll be between the Perpetual Help Junior Altas and R1 Sports. So another school-based team going up against a club-based team. But first, Kakay Zamora's missing that technical freebie, as R1 Sports should have been wearing their dark jerseys.
So it can be very confusing for the referees if they're both wearing the light uniforms. But then they remedied this with the black shorts.
Indeed. So luckily for us, it won't be too confusing. And again,
we have the benefit of all these cameras.
Exactly. Again, the technology we have these days definitely help us in many ways. And again, the Perpetual Junior Altas winning the NCAA Juniors Championship recently. And right now, looking to, make it back-to-back. But of course, they have some key absences.
Yes. Now, what's important if you're R1, because you're a much smaller team, is you keep moving the ball around, try to get the early offense going, and keep the defense guessing.
And so far, Perpetual able to make it 4 points in a row.
That's just the system working. Everybody knows where they're meant to be.
And that is courtesy of Coach Job Cleopas, the same head coach who led this team to an NCAA championship, but finally R1 Sports gets on board.
Yes, the school has been really thirsty for basketball titles for a very long time.
So make it 4-2, make it 5-4. Evangelio hits that 3.
Well, a lot of teams will actually let you prove yourself first from long distance before extending the defense.
Zanoria off the mark. Binagaran gets it back. Zamoras, no good from 3. Another offensive rebound by the Junior Altas.
Plenty of time left.
Zanoria, the pick from Binagatan. Outside again. Ferrer from deep. Still not falling for the Junior Altas.
Ferrer may have thrown off his shooting because of all the attempted dunks during the warm-up. Oh, great block.
Another chance for Perpetual. Forward dish, too strong.
They have a very distinct size advantage here, and it might do them well to exploit that. Maybe go inside first so the defense will collapse and then go for the outside shot.
And let's see if that is indeed the plan of Coach Cleopas. As Evangelio brings it down for R1. Intano goes right.
Great
for
first
finish.
Move. What a spin.
What a move to shake the defense off and to increase that lead to 4 points. We'll take another look again. Small things come in big packages. That is Jeeth Intano attacking. A chance to make it a 3-point play.
That was a great burst of speed, but nobody came over to help either.
However, he is unable to make it a 3-point play. Nevertheless, make it a 3-point lead for R1 Sports. Zamoras for 3. Still not falling for Kakay. Ferrer hands it outside. This time it's Zamoras to the cutting Zanoria. 2 points for Perpetual.
Straight into the gut of the defense, and the R1 players talking to each other. Who should have been covering whom?
3 minutes passing by in Chapter 1. To the corner, Intano now inside. Puts one up. No good.
Now, the nice thing about the club team is that you're not really governed by these standards of organized basketball, meaning you could play against guys who are much older or much stronger, and it also helps you develop in another way.
Indeed, you get to experience what it's like to face an NCAA, not only an NCAA caliber team, but a championship caliber team. Of course, in the Perpetual, help Junior Altas.
You know, and also what it means is you're actually playing in the real world,
Indeed.
not in a confined, controlled environment.
And in contrast, when you're Perpetual or any school-based team, you get to face a team with diverse backgrounds.
Yes.
As Kurt Patalinghug enters the game, same with Lance Nitura for Perpetual help Altas, and this guy as well, a newcomer for them.
Good pass.
Ends up in a bucket.
And look at the full court pressure now by Perpetual.
Evangelio.
Now we're talking.
But inside, no one was there to pick up Hadormio. One more try.
They brought him in because they need some size.
So Hadormio will go to the line indeed. Size is what he'll bring to the table. Another look. Again, no one was there to pick him up, forcing Houdini to foul him. First freebie is good. That is Aaron Hadormio. And now we shall turn it over to Daniel Legorgia for a report.
R1 Sports may be a club-based team from Santa Rosa, Laguna, but Coach Ron Ferrer assures that they are structured and systematic in their set plays, which will be used as their advantage in this tournament. As they aim to go the extra mile and reach the championship, Coach Ron shares that this will be a test on how they will respond to the challenges given by school-based teams. This will be an opportunity of a lifetime for them as they work on developing maturity and skill sets. Let's see how they will stand their ground, Shaw and Bill.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for that report. And it's the same case, you know, again, like what I've mentioned before, a club-based team going up against a school-based team.
And that's pretty near where the NCAA South plays.
And again, you never know who to face in a club-based team as Jeeth Intano lights it up from deep.
He looks like a very savvy player, you know, for this team. It's carrying the team very well.
Well, he did play for Team Makati in the recently ended NBTC, but Lance Nitura answers back with a three.
And for those of you who are unfamiliar, NBTC is the National Basketball Training Center, which was started by Coach Eric Altamirano and Alex Compton somewhat 20 years ago.
Back-to-back threes for Jeeth Intano.
Wow.
Certainly a standout for the recent minutes of our game. Meanwhile, Houdini from the corner overcooks it. R1 in transition. Evangelio outside to Ignacio. They are trailing by, or rather they're up by 4 points. Inside.
And more importantly is they're controlling the tempo of the game.
That's what you like to see against, again, a championship caliber team in the Junior Altas. R1 again with this possession, but Nitura swiping the rock. One-on-one situation, Nitura, easy.
Protected the ball very well, switched hands at the last second.
And he makes it a one-possession game. Ignacio, 2 against 2. He'll draw the foul.
Somebody grabbed him on the arm.
So 2 freebies on the way of Ignacio. And a chance for R1 to extend their 2-point lead. And at the line, it's Aaron Ignacio. First one is no good.
And look at how confident his teammates are in his free throw shooting. They're not even lining up.
And he better make the second one. And he does.
Well, what do you know? They know something we don't.
Perhaps he makes it on a regular. As they are up by 3 points, talking about R1 Sports. Houdini from the corner and no good. Bourbon hustling for the offensive board. Another try, and this time he'll be the one to shoot freebies.
Working harder now on the offensive glass.
So it's Bourbon at the line. The 17-year-old, the big man for the junior Altas. First one is good. As we have over 3 minutes remaining in Chapter 1.
You know, the junior Altas don't seem to be bothered. You know, they're still within the striking distance, within arm's length. Still plenty of time, still early in the game. No need to be bothered.
Exactly. The composure is out of this world for these young guys.
Velasquez was forced to foul. Again, one of the holes in their defense is under the basket, the baseline cut. That's been killing them past couple of minutes.
So Ignacio a chance to extend their 1-point lead. Again, that is Aaron Ignacio. 19-year-old forward for R1 Sports makes the first one. Second one incoming. 2 out of 2 for Ignacio. And makes it a 3-point game. That's the kind of free throw shooting you would want to have against this type of team. As Patalinghog sends it out. Nitura back to Houdini. Kaboom! We have a tied game at 18. Evangelio. Intano at the right side. Up is Evangelio for 3. Unable to answer back. Houdini with the rebound. Patalinghog, forward pass, too high.
Good idea, he just threw it way over the head.
It was Arkin Cristobal attempting to catch the leather, but was unsuccessful. Meanwhile, Ignacio.
He's just overpowering the defense here.
And that'll count. Aaron Ignacio, a potential 3-point play.
And again, look at the other players. They're all on the other side of the court already.
Again, they have that trust in their teammate as we take another look on that sequence. Again, a potential 3-point play for this young gun, Aaron Ignacio. And he makes it. Timeout is called right here by Coach Geoff Cleopas as their opponents R1 Sports is up by 3 points. We'll be back for more. We go back to the action. Again, a 3-point lead here by R1 Sports. But still, the Perpetual helped Junior Altas staying composed despite it all. Nitura from deep, short. Houdini hustles for the rebound. Bourbon, that was intended for Patalinghog, kept alive.
Clock still running.
5 to shoot. At the corner, they try from deep. Rolls out of the rim.
Now the rest of the team was unprepared for that long bomb. Nobody in position for the rebound.
Nitura with the steal. High pass to Patalinghog. Easy 2 points for the Junior Altas.
This is where having a system is an advantage. You know who's supposed to leak out, who's supposed to lead the fast break.
And again, that'll be one of the premier advantages of the Junior Altas throughout this game for sure.
But compared to R1, the Junior Altas have not been able to get any sort of streak going.
Intano looking to continue that streak. He won't. Oh, out of nowhere, able to get that rebound was Lagustan.
Junior Altas are getting outworked, which leads us to believe that this is not really a complete team, meaning these guys are not the team that normally plays together.
So Lagustan will be shooting 2 freebies, or 1 more freebie. They're up by 2 points. Chance to make it 3, and he won't. So a chance now for the Junior Altas to take the lead or to tie the game up at 22. Patalinghug looking for an open teammate. Finds Nitura to the corner. Houdini for 3. Overcooks it. Kept alive by Patalinghug. Nitura draws the foul. It'll be downstairs.
And no penalty situation yet against the R1.
Shot clock at 14 seconds. Nitura.
Nice cut from the weak side.
And the refresher coming from Houdini. Able to tie the game up at 22. Airtight defense coming from Houdini.
Yes, you always force the guy towards the sideline so he has no more room to move. Oh, that's a foul.
Unfortunately, another foul called on the side of Lens Nitura.
And they're in the penalty.
And to make matters worse, a chance for R1 Sports to take the lead. With time running down, under a minute remaining, an hour of opening chapter. First one is good for Lagustan.
But I like the attitude of the Junior Altas. They're business as usual. They're not frazzled by what's going on.
Patalinghug uses the pick. Nitura for 3. All board. Intano with the rebound. The small guy going at it. Snatches it back. Outside to Hadormio. Back to Intano. Thought about the 3. Will step on the brakes. Ignacio will attack instead. He'll take it to the cup for 2
crossover.
points. Last 5 seconds. Patalinghug, another crossover. Inside Nitura. Cleans up his own mess to make it just a 1-point game at the end of our first period. 25-24. Still anybody's ball game here in our 19 and under division in the NDSL basketball series. We'll be back for more action. Back to the action for the start of the second chapter. 25-24, a 1-point lead here by R1 Sports. And so far, they've been putting up a fight against the NCAA champions, the Perpetual Help Junior Altas.
And they're doing it basically by being more aggressive. Case in point.
Intano finding himself open for 2 points. That is the first bucket of our second chapter. And more importantly, a 3-point lead for R1. Rosales to the right side.
Stepped on the sideline.
Rookie mistake coming from Hans Castro.
I think he was distracted with the 4-point line. I thought it was a 3-point line, so he assumed there was still more space on the side.
So little adjustments needing to be made at the side of Perpetual. Meanwhile, no go to the shot from R1. Putback is good though.
See, it's just really aggressiveness. They're outworking the Junior Altas.
And that makes it a 5-point lead for them. Meanwhile, inside, they almost lose it. They set it to the corner. Castro, no good. This guy for the rebound. Rosales has it. They swing the ball around. Castro again with the basketball. Crazy shot, not falling. And finally, they draw the foul for 2 freebies.
It's about time that the big men of Perpetual Help assert themselves. Well, they have a pretty good advantage. I think of all the teams, they're the closest ones here.
Exactly. As again, we are in the Met Park Sports Center. Very near to the south. 1 out of 2, but they get it back.
Uh-oh. Floppy pass.
Almost a steal from Jeeth Intano. Castro, they have 5 to work with.
They got to put it up.
Rosales, no go. Intano with the rebound. Turning on the Jets. Jeeth Intano will draw the foul.
He's really keeping them guessing what he's going to do with the basketball, you know.
So almost 2 minutes passing by in Chapter 2. Another pair of freebies for Jeeth Intano. Was able to knock down back-to-back 3-pointers during that first period.
It's been a very tough nut to crack for the Junior Altas. They can't seem to get any, you know, any real momentum going, and that starts with your defense.
And let's see what will be the game plan for Coach Jov Cleopas. But right now, we shall trade it over to Jana Zaplan for an in-game report.
Led by Captain Lance Natura with a mix of Team A veterans and new recruits, the team is focused on trust, effort, and growth. After just 2 weeks of rest from their win at the NCAA, they came in prepared physically and mentally. Their system is tight, their chemistry growing, and their mindset clear, believing in starting strong, giving 101%, and having no fear of mistakes. Now facing a close game from R1 Sports, the question is, can they translate that training mindset into real-time execution? Because as they believe, win the practices and you increase your chances of winning the league. Let's see if they can prove that today. Back to you, Cho and Bill.
Thank you very much, Jana, for that report. And indeed, again...
So that explains it. They were on vacation.
Exactly. I mean, who could blame them?
Yeah, it's summer.
And they won a championship.
And you're off season. Could have been a backing violation there.
And this time, they don't have their usual stars.
That's true.
Well, certainly, it's going to be watered down for them.
This is their summer league team.
But then again, there's still that championship caliber team. Of course, Coach Jov Cleopas, the finals caliber coach.
Just a 3-point game.
And not to mention R1 in the driver's seat, at least so far. As Rosales swings it to the corner. Overcooks that one.
You know, people underestimate how tough a shot that is. Missed by R1, challenged.
Kabatbat high pass. High in the sky play, unable to be completed. And Ignacio secures the board.
Well, you gotta challenge the shots, make them miss.
Ignacio handing it off to Jeeth Intano. He will attack, sidestep, sends it out. Mid-range jumper won't work for R1.
What a wasted opportunity. The entire defense had collapsed into the paint.
Castro picked up by Intano.
Oh, that's a moving screen.
Yasser Palisok called for an illegal pick.
It was moving sideways.
Great job by our officials spotting that small detail. A small yet impactful detail, of course, for our players. As Intano will bring it down against Castro. He will continue to attack.
Nice screen there. Oh, he's really fearless. He doesn't care who's watching or who's watching over him.
And against a Junior Altas team, you will need those kinds of players. As Carpena is outside, around that left wing. Sends it inside, stolen right here. The attack by Madaya. 2 points for him. And a timeout called right here by Coach Ron Ferrer, as we'll take another look at that remark. Madaya, basic 2 points off the break. As Perpetual still trailing by 1. We'll be back for more. Back at the action here at Met Park Sports Center at the heart of Pasay City. 30-29. R1 Sports up by a single point.
And the mere fact that they can't improve on this lead already says a lot about the defense of the Junior Altas. It means something is working.
And will we see another club-based team beat a school-based team? Just like
might.
Exactly.
Just like Smash a while ago.
Exactly. That was one hell of a thriller. Meanwhile, Rosales unable to knock it down from deep, but a tip in is good.
You have to have the ability of following the shot. And, like Dennis Rodman always said, you have to know where the ball is going to bounce.
And that'll be the job of the big men, the respective big men of our teams. As this time it's Evangelio. The long shot is good.
He felt it.
May get a 4-point lead for R1 Sports.
Some more breathing room. Everybody was stunned by that shot because he was way behind the three-point line.
Indeed, Rosales will try to answer back. He won't. He has been chunking up those kinds of shots. Carpena against Hans Castro. The spin, the attack. Everything but the bucket.
Everything but the bucket. But again, the aggressiveness of R1 is really what's keeping them ahead in this game.
And that'll prompt Coach Joff Cleopas to send in a platoon substitution. As I believe Perpetual sensing big-time threat coming from R1 Sports.
That's not usual, but for some coaches, it's a way of making up the difference and showing the other unit what this group can do.
And perhaps set a good example,
Yes.
just like that one. Perchud Binagatan. Big boy moves inside, a potential 3-point play.
Well, he's literally a head taller than everyone else.
Another look. Again, Perjude Binagatan using his muscles inside to trim that lead down to make it just 1 point, potentially with this freebie. He won't. Evangelio. Dedicatoria. Back to Evangelio. R1 swinging it around. Ignacio. Outside again. Evangelio way downtown. Gets it
Oh
to
my
go.
goodness. Another unexpected three-pointer.
And they will need more of those. Same spot, same result for them. Dulanas. The attack, Zanoria. Stolen by R1.
Pass to the wrong team.
Carpena able to bring it to the other side.
You know, I think what's missing for the junior Altas is really a take charge guy. Who is the leader? Who will take responsibility for keeping the team organized on the floor? Because now there's no obvious candidate yet.
And again, one of their most known players in LeBron James Diep, already graduating from high school.
Yep, son of former PBA player Philam Romel Diep.
So certainly they're still really trying to identify, yes, that main guy.
Yep.
R1 attacking. No go. Zanoria to Zamoras.
3-on-1.
No good. But the cleanup is beautiful for Ferrer.
Now the junior Altas getting a little more physical.
And that's what you need again. R1 being identified as a threat against the junior Altas. Evangelio, step back. Off to the left. Ignacio getting the board. Almost losing it, and he does. Zanoria picked up by Ferrer.
2-on-1.
Drops it. Zamoras, basket and one.
Good decision.
Unselfish brand of basketball being showcased by the junior Altas.
You know, Ferrer realizes his shot's not falling. Maybe his confidence is a little cracked here. Gives it up. Value of the trailer.
A potential three-point play incoming for the junior Altas.
So don't always assume that your teammate will make the layup.
Great job actually for Kakay Zamoras trailing. He'll miss the shot. He tried to save it, but not that time. So R1 with another chance. They're still up by a single point. Dedicatoria to Carpena. Being guarded by Renzo Zanoria. Man-to-man defense, the blitz. But they're unable to get the steal. And this time they do. Well, they almost do. Inside. Foul called.
Well, that was clear. Of course, when you're the big man, your tendency is to challenge every shot. You take it personally.
A little bit late that time was Perjude Binagatan, leading to these Evangelio free throws. As first one is money. Last 2 minutes of our first chapter, or first half rather. And second one on its way for Evangelio. Make it 1 out of 2 for him. Nonetheless, it's a 2-point lead for his squad, R1 Sports. Zanoria outside. Zamoras from the corner.
Yes, the pass was too weak and it threw him off.
But 2 freebies coming up for Raymark Madaya, able to get that offensive board. And an attempt for a putback. First one is no good for Raymark Madaya. A 16-year-old guard from Perpetual. 1 out of 2 for the 16-year-old.
1-point game.
Madaya with a steal. Inside to Zanoria. The spin of the window.
That was a really long step, Charlo.
An effective long step.
Yes. And now, the Junior Altos are in the lead.
Exactly, active hands as well on defense from them. As R1 is forced to call a timeout, they're down by 1 with over a minute remaining in our second chapter. Back to the action here at Met Park Sports Center, in the heart of Pasay City. Again, the Perpetual Junior Altas able to gain that 1-point lead. And to make matters better, they get this possession as well with over a minute remaining in Chapter 2. Madaya provides the pick for Zanoria. Renzo attacks, drops it. Great fight to Madaya.
Now, what's making a difference here is that the Junior Altas are getting a little more consistency. While R1 is starting to tire out.
Indeed, showing that they are an NCAA championship caliber team. That time a foul will be committed as we have under a minute remaining in Chapter 2. Lance Nedura checking in for Ferrer.
And he provides more leadership.
Intano. Carpena. Shot clock at 8. Outside. They attack or tried to drop it to a potentially cutting teammate, but miscommunication right there.
Well, again, that is what is most exciting about watching young players. It's also what's most maddening if you're the coach. They can go crazily consistent and they can just go crazy, period.
Hopefully they'll improve on those mistakes, just like that one. But Nitura unable to finish that one.
He had 2 defenders to evade.
Dedicatoria sidestep, gets it to go.
I wonder if he's related to the former NCAA star Floyd Dedicatoria.
We'll take one more look. The sidestep beauty for this time Johan Dedicatoria.
And he was really focused on that drive.
Unfortunately, it's not a 3-point play. 4 seconds remaining. Madaya, high arcing shot, no good. And that'll do it for our first half, 42-41. A close game we have right here. The Perpetual help Junior Altas holding on to this 1-point lead. As we return for the third period, once again, this is the one and only National Developmental Sports League Basketball Series. 42-41 as we enter the third period. 1 point lead by the Perpetual Help Junior Altas. And so far again, a club team, R1 Sports, putting up a fight against the school-based team. And perhaps we shall see again another potential upset, just like what Smash Basketball did in our first game ever in the basketball series of the NDSL against Adamson Soaring Falcons.
And you know, you shouldn't worry about one game because you still have a chance. It's like 9 days of play.
And who knows? These are the same age group, so again, who knows? Coach Joe Cleopas might see someone he wants in that R1 squad.
That's true.
Meanwhile, last touch on Zamoras. Nitura almost getting it. Intano sending it inside to Evangelio. But that's no good at the reverse.
A lot of maturity being shown by this R1 squad, especially in Tano. I mean, smallest guy on the floor, but he's making a huge difference.
Actually, most of the players from R1 having NBTC experience. Two of them playing in the NCAA South. So that's something. As Ignacio will miss that first one. Will miss that second one as well. The Junior Altas a chance to elevate that lead. Outside to the corner, Zamoras. Nitura, almost a steal. Patalinghug, greatly defended, leading to a turnover.
Again, consistency. When R1 is playing solid defense, they are forcing turnovers. But again, the points are getting harder and harder to come by because both teams are making the little subtle adjustments.
That's what you like to see from these young guns, as Ignacio was forced to put up a wild shot.
Yes, at this stage, you're going to see them miss quite a few layups. And again, that's what is frustrating to a lot of coaches.
And the score will definitely say that, as we still have a close one. Patalinghug looking for an open teammate. Nitura retrieving it. Lance Nitura will attack, sends it out. Patalinghug for three. No good. Madaya, the hustle and the putback. 3-point lead now by the Junior Altas. Evangelio up top to Intano. The pick from Ignacio. Intano nowhere to go. Goes back outside. Will fire three, gets blocked by Patalinghug.
Patalinghug deflecting, anticipating the three-point shot there.
Zamoras using that left hand.
Poor defense there by Intano. He just tried to reach in and swipe at the ball.
So make it a 5-point lead now for the Altas.
Now the system starting to work.
Patalinghug, no look dish to the cutting Lance Nitura at the break. And if you're Coach Geoff Cleopas, that's what you like to see. With that, Perpetual now with a 7-point lead. And we'll be back for more basketball. Back to the ball game, and we're seeing those hustle buckets, fast break opportunities being taken advantage of by the Perpetual Help Junior Altas. And just like what Bill said, the system starting to work, resulting into that 7-point lead now by the Junior Altas. But right now we shall throw it over to Daniel De Guardia for a report.
Both teams have regrouped and are now trying to find a way to break out of the close game. For R1 Sports, Coach Ron Ferrer reminds the team to get the rebound and fight for the ball, especially the 50-50 ones. Meanwhile, for the Junior Altas, frustrations were felt, but as Coach Geoff Cleopa said, they don't care about missed or made shots. It's the defense they need. And coming from a recent championship, Coach Geoff strongly reminds the team that this is a different time. Forget about that title. As they talk things over, Coach Geoff says that no one is above the team or the system. And if you think that the system won't work, there is no pressure. Just show that you are fit for this game. Cho and Bill?
All right.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
No one is above the system.
Well said by Coach Geoff Cleopas.
And you know, if you're thinking about the championship, that was yesterday.
That was history. Great mindset to have.
Yeah, as they say, yesterday's newspaper is today's fish wrapper. Oh!
Ignacio finding a way inside, slicing through that perpetual defense. And finally, R1 stopping the bleeding. Patalingog will attack, drops it to the open teammate.
Now we're talking. I think they've settled down. They were probably stunned at first.
And that was Arkin Cristobal, his first 2 points of the game. Meanwhile, Ignacio is up top. R1 down by 7 points. With 3 minutes passing by in our third chapter as Intano misfiring on that three-point attempt from the corner. Nitura asking for it. Steps on the brakes, drops it inside. And that's good, coming from Palisok. Nine-point lead now for the Altas. And
deflection.
counting. Another one. Arkin Cristobal at the break.
It's the defense that's winning the day now for Perpetual.
Exactly, the system. Just like what you said, starting the work for Coach Geoff Cleopas and his boys, as we'll be back for more basketball. We go back to the action. Coach Geoff Cleopas again implementing that system very well, leading to this 9-point lead by the Junior Altas.
And that's a lot. Now the question for R1 is, do they have the organizational capacity to come back?
Great question.
Is there a strategy?
Great point of view right there indeed. And this will show you that, again, school-based team is really high caliber.
You know, what's their plan to force turnovers? What's their plan on transition?
That's something they would have to ask themselves. As again, they're trailing by 9 points. A chance to trim it down at least. Intano will go right. Unable to put it in. And
Looking for a foul, not gonna get it. 4-on-2 situation.
Nitura drops it. Basket and one, courtesy of Arkin Cristobal.
Yeah, Nitura did a great thing there, getting the defense to commit to him.
It's the little things that matter, they say. We'll see it one more time. Arkin Cristobal, a potential three-point play, and more importantly, Perpetual now officially up by double digits. Again, Arkin Cristobal, bonus freebie on its way. Unable to make it, nevertheless, they're up by 11 points.
And that's a lot given the nature of this game, where points are so hard to come by, everything is challenged.
R1 will have to wake up.
And Perpetual Help also did the smart thing, putting a taller, longer player like Nitura on Intano.
Indeed, because Indano has been the one lighting it up. And that'll force a shot clock violation on R1.
The bench has to do a better job of reminding them how much time is left on the clock.
So we're hitting the 5-minute mark of our third chapter. Arkin Cristobal looking to create, but they'll travel instead.
Yes, he slid his pivot foot. Refs caught it. Not that many fouls being given up in this quarter. That's not a good sign for R1.
Here comes Dedicatoria, stepping on the brakes, trying to find Intano.
Oh, he pumped the ball.
Intano will use the pick, the blitz on him. Foul downstairs called.
Only the second foul on Perpetual Help.
So no freebies again, downstairs foul called on Perpetual. Both teams had 2 fouls, 2 team fouls. Carpena. Up against Rosales. The screen from Ignacio.
A miscommunication there. Double team where they need to be one. Wow.
Nevertheless,
Nice move.
Ignacio carving his way to the iron. Hans Castro, though, will answer back with his own 2 points.
You see the R1 players not talking to each other, so nobody there to cover the gaping hole in the middle.
Both teams going back and forth. Carpena, the blitz on him again by Perpetual. As he steps on the line, Perpetual forcing a turnover.
Again, consistency there. You know, Perpetual has the right things in mind. They're just lapses where they don't do it.
And consistency is everything, they say. Nitura. The pick from Palisok. Lance Nitura using the footwork.
Yes.
2 freebies coming up. We'll take another look again. Nitura trying to muscle his way inside, but will shoot 2 freebies instead. First one is no good for the 18-year-old. Second one coming its way. 1 out of 2 for Lance Nitura.
It is a comfortable 12 points at this stage.
Within the system. Meanwhile, Agustan. Sorry miss coming from the real guy. Nitura will orchestrate the offense for Perpetual.
You know, he's a pretty big guard in this level of competition.
Rosales using the pick. Oh, great find.
Yes. Give and go play.
Jun Kabatbat not disappointing his teammate. And slowly but surely, the lead is racking up for Perpetual. Gicintano.
They've really taken him out of the game. He's gone cold already.
Great
Whoa.
adjustment.
Oh my God, great catch. He was already under the basket.
And Hans Castro, another Perpetual Junior Altas, not disappointing. A teammate. Again, the lead starting to grow here. As R1 starting to miss as well.
A lot of solo flights now for R1.
Oh, great passing. And that's what you want to see.
Presence of mind. I think Nitura's asking to be subbed. He's already winded because it is quite warm here.
However, basket and 1 for Ignacio. Able to stop the bleeding. And a chance for a 3-point play. And again, we shall see it one more time. Before this, Nitura again was asking, just like what you said, to be subbed out. And Ignacio taking advantage of that fact. So freebie will be going for Ignacio. 3-point play completed. However, they are down by 15 points
Yes.
now.
And as we've mentioned repeatedly, R1 is not a team that racks up points in a hurry. They don't have any streaks. Well, maybe they'll start now.
That's going to be a problem entering the fourth period.
Yes.
As Intano lines up a three, not that time.
Well, they've kept him out of play for such a long time now. He's really cold.
Meanwhile, Rosales.
You know, he thought about dunking it, but didn't want to embarrass himself.
Nevertheless, 2 points is 2 points for the young guy. And more importantly, a 17-point lead for his squad. As Lagustan will overcook the shot.
Starting to fall apart now. And very few substitutions. Very few timeouts.
And so far, the Perpetual helped Junior Altas really making R1 Sports pay. Every mistake is crucial. Intano. Dedicatoria will go left inside to Manabat. That was a great find, but couldn't convert.
Wasn't squared for the shot.
Zanoria orchestrating the offense. Dulanas providing the pick. Zanoria sidestep. No foul call, but possession will stay with the Perpetual.
Yes, he could have passed off and then or reset the offense.
11 seconds on the shot clock. This possession for Perpetual. Zanoria will trigger the inbound from the baseline. Rosales, quick find.
Simple catch and shoot. Where was the defense?
Indeed, as simple as it gets for Coach Geoff Cleopas and his boys. 19-point lead right now. And counting. Intano trying to cook something up.
Oh, he was fabulous in the first half, but now he's disappeared.
Zanoria escaping with it.
Oh,
Finding
that was
himself free.
That was a travel, partner.
And officially a 21-point lead for Perpetual. Manabat.
I think they're reaching in a little too much, though, the Perpetual help Junior Altas.
10 seconds remaining in our third period. And a chance to stop the bleeding for Carpena, as they'll be shooting 2 freebies. But he'll miss that first one. The Perpetual Junior help Altas making their opponents pay with every mistake they do. 0 out of 2. Zanoria.
Can have the last say.
Rosales, kaboom!
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Definitely hurts. Like a knife in your chest. 24-point lead at the end of the third period for Coach Geoff Cleopas and the rest of the Perpetual help Junior Altas. 74-50. More basketball coming your way for the fourth and final quarter of this game. Once again, this is the NDSL Basketball Series. Back to the action here at the Met Park Sports Center in the heart of Pasay City for the fourth and final period of this game between the Junior Altas and the R1 Sports. And again, in case you've missed that third period, That's when Perpetual helped Junior Altas really found the rhythm and started burying their opponents to the ground. And surely we'll see more of those this fourth period. That time it's gonna be a steal. Intano unable to capitalize at the break. Madaya inside. He picks it up. Outside again. Rosales losing the leather. Ignacio picking it up.
You know, all Perpetual Health has to do is keep their composure. Then it becomes a question of math.
Carpena initially getting blocked, but a foul will be called. With 2 freebies to open our first minute in the fourth period for Carpena. And again, one lone bright spot for R1 Sports was Jeeth Intano, but right now he's nowhere to be found. And if he's waiting for a perfect time to come back, this is the right time, the perfect time actually.
It's the only time to come back now. And Perpetual, they have to be conscious of not playing to not lose instead of playing to win. And being more defensive, being too careful with the ball, taking themselves out of their own rhythm.
Intano lines up a 3. He lost his rhythm.
And there were the entire Junior Altas team under the basket.
That's what you like to see. Ensuring the possession. Houdini, no good. They try to get it back, they do. One more try by Madaya, still not falling.
Unfortunate offense there.
So R1 will retain possession. But Perpetual able to disrupt the flow of the offense.
R1 has to score a few baskets in the next couple of minutes to make this lead reachable.
They have been on a drought.
They've been giving the ball away practically.
Intano, high scoop. Won't work. And 2 free throws coming up.
Well, he's trying to do everything himself. Earlier, he took an ill-advised 3-point shot. Now he's attacking the basket with no clear direction. I mean, you want to show leadership, but you also want to show teamwork.
So perhaps one area of improvement for the boys of Coach Ron Ferrer. They will have to learn how to play as a team. First one was no good for Intano. The second one to redeem himself. He won't. So that's one thing as well they should improve on, the free throw shooting.
Yes, they were doing very well in the first half. I think fatigue is becoming a factor also.
Rosales, no go.
Everybody's shooting bricks.
Rosales able to hit 2 of those a while ago, but will miss on that lay-in. On the other side, one-on-one situation.
Whoa, what a block.
Monster block coming from Houdini.
Is his first name Harry?
Too bad it's not.
Well, nobody can escape him at this point.
Ellie saw Houdini erasing that shot, providing stellar defense for Perpetual.
And look at the way they're covering the defense. On the weak side, there's always somebody sagging down.
And Intano, ice cold in this fourth period.
Easy bucket.
3 minutes passing by in Chapter 4. Clock is ticking. And R1, if you're hearing this, better come up with something.
6 minutes, 50 seconds to go. You need about 3 or 4 successive possessions without the other team scoring. Then it's still reasonable.
Ignacio having a hard time against Bourbon. Carpena outside against Patalinghug. And he'll draw another foul.
Simple lateral movement would have solved that problem.
And that results to 3 team fouls for the Junior Altas. 1 more foul to give for them. First one is good for Carpena. Second one on his way. 2 out of 2. They need more of those. Consistent free throw shooting.
Yes, every little bit helps now.
They should take points anywhere, anytime they can get. But that time, Rosales just continuing to put out the fire. Just when you thought you were in the rhythm, that guy, Rosales, buries a triple.
Oh, that's very painful if you're trying to come back in this game.
Intano at the right wing. Ignacio puts one up. Basket and one. Another bright spot on the side of R1. That guy, Mr. Ignacio, as we take another look at that spinner move.
Yes, well, moving forward, they have to avoid these long, dry spells, you know, particularly for individual players, so they can be relied on when the team really needs them.
The problem remains, though, not everything can be done by one man.
Yes. Still a 22-point lead.
And it's not like the Perpetual help Junior Altas are stopping or slowing down. Oh, Pinoy Altas are stopping or slowing down. Oh, Pinoy. Kurt Patalinghug. Exactly.
Yes.
That's a thing now.
And they said it was named after somebody named Pinoy. But then, aren't we all Pinoy?
Evangelio up against a much bigger Houdini. Intano.
Oh, he's really just gone cold.
And it's obvious he's looking for his three-point shot.
Looking a little too much.
Shot clock violation forced by Perpetual. Looking to add more problems to their opponents.
Yes, I think what's important for R1 is they don't give up, at least, you know, psychologically, because they're going to be in this situation in the future also.
Meanwhile, Rosales continuing to bury the hatchet.
It's adding insult to injury.
And Intano finally getting a bucket.
But where was everybody else, though?
But then again, the problem remains. What they're doing is not sustainable. Patalinghug inside, great find. That time it's Jude Binagatan scoring. As we're nearing 100 points for Perpetual.
Well, you brought it up. They could break 100 points. Or was that that was the previous game, I think. So you thought some beta would do it. But now there's a very real chance.
Houdini from the corner. 2 more points. Courtesy of Raymark Madaya. This time Ignacio fumbling the chance. As possession will go to Perpetual again. Hans Castro will enter the game. (88-61). Slowly but surely, Perpetual finding light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, so things fell into place because, you know, as we mentioned, some of the starters are not here. So they're people in roles that they don't normally do, or people starting who normally come off the bench. That's a major adjustment.
And way to step up for the Perpetual boys of Coach Geoff Cleopas. And on the other side, R1 again. It's not the end of the world for them.
He'll say he did that on purpose.
And again, at this point, they'll take points anywhere and anytime they can get it.
But with under 3 minutes to go, it's improbable already.
Rosales, one more time from outside. And at this point, he's just aura forming.
How many more daggers are they going to take?
Just when you thought the previous one was the dagger. And right now, they're 7 points away from 100. And if you're R1, again, you're looking long-term, so you better do your best to show out. Who knows, again, just like what I said a while ago, Coach Geoff Cleopas just might see something or someone he likes.
True. Uncontested follow-ups. 5 more points to hit 100.
And those uncontested follow-ups may be a sign that R1 is waving the white flag. As we are approaching the last 2 minutes of our game.
It's not a lack of material on their part. It's more of maybe maturity, coordination, a system.
So perhaps we won't see an upset as Tano will knock down that off-the-glass three-point bomb. And safe to say he has made his contributions this game. Same with Mr. Ignacio. But his teammates will have to help them.
Back to a 30-point lead.
It's over a minute remaining. Perpetual continuing to defend. Carpena from deep. And where was all of this a while ago?
Exactly. They're emerging when there's no more pressure.
And that's actually the catch. The thing you need to do when there's pressure. Act like there's none.
Yes.
1 point away from 100 are the junior Altas. Let's see. If
They'll get 2 possessions to try. No need to get fancy.
Udine outside. Castro this time lines up a 3. In and out.
The suspense is killing me.
Just hit 100 already. But nevertheless, a win is a win.
Oh yes, and this is a big win.
And a big statement win to send a message to the rest of the teams here in the 1900 division.
Well, they may not want to take a shot, not want to run up the score anymore. But, add insult to further injury.
And way to show respect as well to your opponents.
Yes.
But he did take a shot because of the shot clock.
Don't hit the man when he's down.
And there you have it. Again, it's those kinds of games where you won't be mistaken if you choose one. But this guy really stood out.
Playing days.
He wasn't even aware he was a candidate for player of the game. So right now, we shall turn it over to Daniel LaGuardia for our player of the game interview.
Thank you so much, Shaw and Bell. We finally have our first double-double performance here in the NDSL, and I have here Ignacio. So Ignacio, you had 17 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. So for you, the first half was a bit stagnant. It was a close game. So what did you guys change to really, widen the gap and get this first win?
Ano lang po, naniwala lang po kami kay Coach. Sinunod po namin yung sinabi niya na darating din po naman yung opensa, inano po namin sa depensa po.
So for you and your system, your system has always been instilled by your coach, your culture and everything. So for you, what really works in that culture for you to, get this type of performance and win?
Ano po, yun na nga po, naniwala kami sa coach po namin, sa chemistry po namin. Bago lang po ako dito nakasali. Nakakinig lang po talaga kami sa coach kung ano po yung tinuturo niya sa amin.
So as a first timer, how was the experience?
Maganda experience po to sa akin. Ito po yung first time ko po nakasali dito. Masaya po.
Thank you so much. Well, congratulations. So, would you like to greet or thank anyone who's supporting you right now?
Napapasalamat po ako kay God, una po kay God na nakalaro po ako sa ganito at iningatan niya po ako. Lalo na po sa pamilya ko po sa Palawan. Napapasalamat po ako sa palaging pagsuporta po sa akin. Yan na po. Tsaka sa mga coaches ko po, teammates po.
Thank you so much once again. Congratulations on that amazing double-double performance. And of course, to the Junior Atlas for your first win. Sean Bill?
Thank you very much, Daniel. Again, that is Raymark Padaya earning the player of the game honors and certainly contributing big time to that dominating Perpetual Help Altas W. But stay tuned for more action as we still have 2 more games in store for everybody. Better hold on to your seats, grab your popcorn, because high quality, intense basketball action is waiting for you here in the National Developmental Sports League Basketball Series. We'll be back for more basketball.